Support WrestleTalk!
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Super News! I'm Ollie Davis, once again a day walker after the last 5 nights of wrestling live streams, from NXT TakeOver New York last Friday, God that seems long ago, to Tuesday's SmackDown Live after Mania. Thank you to everyone who joined us along the way, where we emotionally signed Chopper Pete to the WrestleTalk main roster, enjoyed the 6-star WrestleMania match of Shane McMahon versus Mizdad. Is Mizdad okay? I'm concerned we haven't seen him since. And whatever the bar getting a tag team match on Raw was, players. We've got a packed show for you today, including all the details on a WWE star being released, Vince McMahon apparently firing someone else backstage over WrestleMania weekend, and the latest on Sasha Banks suddenly going missing from TV. Click the timestamps in the video description below to jump to any of those stories right now. And thanks to all our WrestleMania weekend live streaming, we are now just under 1,500 subscribers away from 700,000. So let's have a super click party. Super kick. Pull the muscle and give us a subscribe, click the thumbs up button and answer our question of the day down below. What was your favourite moment over WrestleMania weekend? Because I'll be replying to people in the comments from out and... Oh, hi Pete.
Hey, package for you.
Oh, cheers Postman Pete.
No idea what it is, but it's there.
Cool.
So
well, I'll open that later on in the show.
Cool.
So congratulations on the getting signed, man.
yeah, thanks. It's pretty good. Also completely shocked me, but you know.
Yeah, should we do the
good to-
Triple H
Yeah.
pose?
Yeah, I like that.
Now go away.
Okay.
PCO no selling and Mizdad selling way too much. Seriously, I think he's dead. Aside, the WrestleMania weekend moment that got me the most was Kofi Kingston defeating Daniel Bryan to become the new WWE champion, to then celebrate with his Kofi Kidstons in the ring. It was the emotional high point of the night, just 5 hours into a 7.5 hour long show, but not everyone was sold on Kingston as champion. Superstar Billy Graham was a huge name in wrestling through the 70s and 80s, and doesn't just look like Hulk Hogan's dad. He was his metaphorical father figure, taking the Hulkster under his wing during the early days of his career. But while Graham's advice helped the likes of Hogan and Jesse the Body Ventura become all-time greats, the business has moved on considerably since then, and in many respects, for the better, as Graham's rather outdated advice to Kingston on the Facebook shows. Congratulations to Kofi for winning the most important title in pro wrestling history. Sorry you NWA guys. Notice the word heavyweight in his title, so my man, I urge you to start doing some steroids and add about 50 pounds of solid muscle to your championship body. Vince won't care, honestly. Actually, he would be quite pleased with the muscular transformation, as I predict that you, young man, will have the longest run as WWE champion in modern day history. Maybe Graham made a typo and meant to write steaks. Like, he meant to write steaks instead of steroids. Oh no, he's posted again. I'm sure he'll clear up the confusion. Please note that I urged Kofi to use some steroids, but never told him to abuse them like I did. No, he definitely meant steroids then. Graham's own abuse of steroids, by the way, has led to him becoming sterile, needing both his hips replaced and one of his ankle joints to be fused. The good old days. But there's another big S-word controversy backstage in WWE this week. Shorts. Former American football player turned pundit and podcast host Pat McAfee joined WWE a year ago when he appeared on the pre-show panel for NXT TakeOver New Orleans. He appeared on several more TakeOver pre-shows before getting promoted to the main interviewer roster for WWE's live watch-along of March's Fastlane pay-per-view. McAfee finally hit the big time at WrestleMania, where he appeared alongside Mean Charlie Caruso on the event's kickoff show, and he celebrated by wearing his best tuxedo and a pair of shorts that occasionally look like a skirt. It's a bold fashion choice, and unfortunately one that Michael Cole didn't appreciate. Speaking on his podcast, McAfee revealed he was explicitly told before the event, "Don't wear jorts," a memo that John Cena didn't appear to get later on in the night, as he should dress smart for the showcase of the Immortals. So McAfee went and got a tuxedo and some tuxedo shorts to match, which didn't go down too well in rehearsals before the show went on air.
I come back in for the rehearsal, and it's Michael Cole on the phone panicking, with the entire McMahon family in the gorilla. I believe there's a couple other superstars in there, celebrities are in there, and I just start getting yelled at by Michael Cole in front of all these people. He said, I told you no shorts. I said, you told me no jorts. He said, you look unprofessional, you look sloppy. He was like yelling at me in front of all these people that I've looked up to for so long. So I looked at Michael Cole. I said, "They're tuxedo shorts, man." And he said, "You look terrible." He was like yelling. This wasn't like a rib or like a gimmick. You could tell there was actual panic. I'd been wearing this outfit for 10 hours at this point. So now we're 45 minutes before the show that I feel like I could have been told earlier. And also potentially not getting yelled at in front of everybody else that's there. You know what I mean?
Right.
McAfee said getting yelled at by Cole was so humiliating, he walked off, grabbed his bag, and almost quit WWE just minutes before WrestleMania was due to begin.
You could tell Michael Cole to go himself. I am leaving, right? I am not getting punked and yelled at like a child in front of everybody like that. You guys think I'm some schlub. You guys think I'm just this is a second job to me. I'm very lucky to be here, very excited to be here, but I'm not just going to get yelled at like I'm a child in front of people.
Thankfully, for the sake of suit short combinations everywhere, one of the digital producers stopped McAfee from storming out and went to talk to Vince McMahon himself, who, it turns out, was a fan of the shorts all along.
And then all of a sudden, Digital Guy and Michael Cole come back. Vince McMahon told them, and this is what I was told, that they showed him a picture of LeBron James wearing a short suit. And Vince McMahon said, "Yeah, I'm hip, I've seen it."
Official confirmation, Vince McMahon is hip. Unfortunately, not everyone escaped Vince McMahon's wrath over the weekend. Following the reportedly botched finish to the WrestleMania main event, where the referee counted the pin despite Ronda Rousey's shoulders being up, Fightful claim McMahon fined the official in that match and then also referee Rudy Charles the following night on Raw for a separate incident to make an example. According to Sean Waltman, that wasn't the only example Vince made. While most people were preoccupied with the person who attacked Bret Hart during his speech at Saturday night's Hall of Fame, McMahon appeared to have been more annoyed by something else: his name being mentioned in a speech. Of the many things that irrationally annoy Vince, like the word hospital, people sneezing near him, but oddly not wearing shorts with a suit, he's hip, don't you know, one of his chief pet peeves is people saying his name during the Hall of Fame. This is something that DX made fun of during their induction speech when they mentioned Vince's name multiple times as an inside joke, but it was no joke when Bret did it earlier in the night, as McMahon apparently fired the writer who had scripted Hart's speech, as Waltman reveals on his X-Pac 12360 show. "I think Bret mentioned Vince a bunch of times. Vince got really hot. I think somebody might have got him fired. Then we went out and said it a million times and no one got fired. It's not funny for the guy that lost his job. I'm not kidding. No, I'm not. Vince was pissed." And that writer wasn't the only person WWE released over the weekend. Pro Wrestling Sheet has reported generic backstage interviewer number 4, Dasha Fuentes, has been released by WWE. Dasha originally joined the company as a wrestler in 2014, but transitioned to the broadcast team shortly after, where she's been a backstage interviewer for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and 205 Live ever since. She hasn't directly referenced her release yet, but she did post an Instagram video calling the last few days interesting, and that she's now going on holiday. And that's not the only weird backstage story from the last several days in the company. Sasha Banks and Bayley lost their women's tag team titles to the Iconics at WrestleMania 35 and seemed set to start a feud with Alexa Bliss on the following night's Raw. WWE had already promoted Bliss would fight either Bayley or Banks on the show, and Sasha had begun building the feud by muting Alexa on Twitter while asking, "You scared?" which Bliss responded to by blocking her. "No, not scared. Sick of your petty poo-poo emoji, #blocked." But then Banks was nowhere to be seen on Monday night, with Bayley taking on Alexa by herself, and then Sasha pulled out of a scheduled TV appearance the next day at very late notice. "Due to personal reasons, I had to pull out of my appearance today on Wendy Williams. Sorry to everyone who was looking forward to it. Hopefully the opportunity will be there again later. #if you only knew." This last-minute cancellation, however, garnered Sasha significant heat with TV producers on the show, with an insider telling Page 6 she won't be booked again. She didn't give a real real reason for cancelling, and she did it only hours before the show tapes, so production was left scrambling to fill her spot. Wendy ended up doing an extra segment of Hot Topics instead. Williams herself contradicted this on yesterday's episode though, saying that Sasha's representative had actually cancelled the booking after midnight the night before, and that it was because of a family emergency. And the whole situation is made even more confusing by Sasha's cryptic tweet following WrestleMania. There is something about the way life happens today that makes it hard to look ahead. There are things that make it difficult to laugh, difficult to live the way you want. There are things that make it almost impossible to trust where you are, or to believe in where you want to be. You look around and life is happening way too fast. Sometimes it feels like the moments are gone. Everything happens all at once and right away. We're marching towards a destiny we cannot understand, towards the kingdom of convenient. Then one day you look up and you can't find the meaning. Your crisis of purpose and passion is acting up, but they tell you that that's supposed to be normal. Well, I don't want normal. I want magic, because that's the place that feels like home to me. That's the place where I remember what dreams look like, where meaning is effortless and purpose is simple. That's the place where love still matters. I want that feeling of coming home again. I want to feel like myself. I want that magic. Sasha to AEW confirmed. Well, I've still got a lot of sleep to catch up on, so I guess I'll open this delivery another time. Remember, give us a subscribe to help us break 700,000 subscribers. It's bedtime for me right now, though. Has the next Avengers storyline been leaked after Endgame? Find out with Laurie by clicking the Screen Talker video on the right, and watch Ali, Laurie and Pete play WWE 2K19 by clicking the video down there. I've been Bird Raptor, and that was wrestling.